In all the previous episodes of Broadcast, we've had people who have been working out for a while and have been really invested into the fitness industry. But for this episode, I wanted to get someone who has a really different perspective towards gym and fitness. So I have with me my best mate, Steven. Now, Steven's moved to Dubai and we shot this episode a night before he was about to move. So he really thinks that being overly invested into gym and fitness for the wrong reasons can impact your mental health and life overall. So I hope you enjoyed the podcast. This is a really special one for me. And if you do enjoy the podcast, I just ask you to please drop a like and maybe hit that subscribe button. It's free of cost and it really motivates me to keep making more content, and all of this takes a bit of time. So now, without wasting any time, I hope you enjoy the podcast. Okay. Welcome back to Broadcast. This is episode 4 and you can see there's a little bit of changes in terms of the layout. We've invested a little bit of money, and today I've got with me a very special guest. I've got with me my mate Steven. Steven's going to Dubai tomorrow, and before he left I was like, we should probably get in an episode because I don't know when we are going to see each other again.
Yeah.
And coming back to what we're going to talk about today is really interesting because Steven is not as heavily invested into the gym and fitness side when compared to myself or maybe one of our other mates, Edward, and a lot of other people that have been on the podcast before him. And we were actually talking about how gym addiction, or maybe like being too much involved into the fitness, can also lead to not negative effects, but can be like just be harmful. And I really want to know what your thoughts are on being like a fitness addict or maybe like a gym addict, and how overdoing it can make you bad or anything.
Yeah, I mean, like Laksha said, I don't go to the gym regularly anymore. I put in about 18 months of, probably 12 months of consistently going to the gym, and I just it wasn't really for me. It didn't give me the satisfaction, or it wasn't motivated to go enough. Like, I had other things that I wanted to invest my time in, mostly to do with like work, uni, and like social life a bit more. So I think, like you said, you can have, I think there can be negative sides to going to the gym if you like don't look after yourself and you don't like balance your life a little bit as well around the gym.
But with that being said, when you say that you had other stuff that you wanted to do, like we can say it was work, it was uni, all of these things were kind of leading you somewhere. So work was getting you money.
Yeah, so
uni was getting you a qualification that will eventually lead to making more money in the future, having the stability in terms of having a career. And gym wasn't something that you were looking at towards as something that's going to get you maybe financial stability, or maybe it's going to turn out to be like a career kind of pathway or something.
Yeah, I guess it goes down to like my goals versus like whatever your goals are, right? So my goals and aspirations are very much centric around my career. I want to build my career. I want to travel the world. I want to do certain things.
That's exactly where you're going to start.
Yeah, so starting off with my move to Dubai tomorrow, I guess, is part of it.
The first step towards the big journey. Yeah.
So I mean, if your goal is the gym, like you want to compete at like ICN, you want to take that further, you know, that's not like, it's not a bad thing at all. You know, we all have different goals. It's about how that fits into your life and how you want that to fit into your life.
Yeah.
I didn't want the gym to fit in my life. Yeah, I think if I went to the gym, I could improve my physique and I could like look better, but I don't like look at myself in the mirror and go, oh shit, like I'm unhappy with this or something like that. I go, okay, like I'm putting in effort in other areas of my life that I'm happy with, that makes me confident in myself, that I don't need to go to the gym. And I don't think I'm an unhealthy person. I work hospitality, so we're on our feet 24/7. I'm quite active. I ride my longboard in my recreational time. I do bouldering, so I'm not I'm not sitting at home all the time. I'm not active.
Yeah.
I just don't lift weights, or I don't do cardio in the gym.
Yeah. This actually opens up a really good gateway for me to make another video on YouTube, but we'll just touch base on this. I think a lot of people in general, and especially I don't want to say kids, but teenagers, because like we're 20 and 21, so we are not that far away from our teenage. We are still kind of coming into the mid-20s in the future, so we're still more towards the teenage side. We can relate with them, right?
Yeah.
But people are confusing fitness with just being in the gym and having more muscle, or maybe fitness with bodybuilding now.
Yeah.
And I guess that's like really blurring out the line between what is healthy and what is not healthy.
Correct.
If you're talking about bodybuilding in like the big terms, like when you go all in bodybuilding, it's not healthy.
No, and that's...
I am 2 weeks away from my competition and I feel shit.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I think you and I feel like possibly Caitlin was talking about that side of things, about competing, being like, okay, so how does competing actually affect your body in non-healthy ways? So like it can mess with your hormones. Obviously, if you're in a cut, you're actually depriving your body of certain macros that you need to function. Your attention span decreases, you get mood swings, like women's menstrual cycles can get interrupted. So looking at that, it's like, okay, is that a sacrifice that you really want to make? Like, if your goal is to compete and your goal is to be one of the best or whatever, then yeah, that's sacrifice that you're going to have to make. I make sacrifices about my life to work around my career and the goals that I want to have. But it's something that you need to think about more than like, oh yeah, I just want to get big. I saw this guy doing that. It must be the right thing to do because the gym is healthy. Anything I do around the gym is a healthy habit.
Yeah.
But you can develop like unhealthy habits around healthy things.
What would you say are these unhealthy habits? Name maybe one or two that you think are most visible ones that you can just barely see by looking at a person who's trying to compete or getting more serious into the gym.
Yeah, well, I think like the biggest thing is like cutting, right?
Yeah.
Like that prep is so hard on your body, on your mental. Like that's probably the biggest thing competing. And then just like your physical health, if you're going into it like uneducated and you're not lifting right, you're not recovering properly in your bulks, you're not eating properly, you're really not getting what you want out of it. Like you're not going to see the rewards, and if you're not willing to put in that effort to see it, it's like, you know, there's nothing wrong with going to the gym recreationally. That's what I was doing.
We still, like, even if you do go to the gym right now, you'll still see people who come in groups who are not at training as intense or hard, but it's their fun time. Like that's their time to go out with friends. That's their time to go out with maybe their partners, get a little bit of cardio in, and that's just their way of spending time.
Yeah.
And not to mention the fact that you talk about getting rewards out of what you're trying to doing in the gym and get rewards out of it. You do things I'm not saying everyone does it, but if you do things half-heartedly with the intention of achieving big goals, you don't achieve those goals.
No way.
You deprived yourself of so many things, like you didn't go out with friends, or if you did go out, you didn't eat, you didn't drink, and then you didn't achieve those goals. So you were sad before. This adds on to your sadness. I'm not saying sadness as in like, oh, I'm really depressed, but like adds on to your not feeling good about it. And then not to mention the fact that all this is when we're talking about just natural bodybuilding. Yeah. There's another whole aspect when you take performance enhancing drugs that adds on to your physique. Well, it makes your physique look better, but is it actually making your physique better?
Yeah, and I guess that again is something that you need to start like have a serious think about. Like it's not as simple as I'm going to start taking Tren.
Oh yeah.
Like you got to look after your body and, you know, monitor your hormones, monitor your blood levels, monitor all of that. Talk to a professional, make sure that you're doing it in a safe manner, but understand the risks associated and the sacrifices that you are making to reach those. Like, and having, like, you got to set reasonable goals as well. and like step-by-step goals. That so, like you said, if you're half-assing it and you don't achieve something, you don't then feel, you don't put yourself down about it because you couldn't, like, if I sat here and was like, yeah, I'm going to go be Mr. Olympia in 2 years.
That's
right,
not happening.
nothing,
Not happening.
You know, I'm going to go, but I'm going to half-ass it, and then I get to 2 years' time and I think that I'm a complete failure.
You can't be Mr. Australia, let alone Mr. Australia. You can't be Mr. South Australia in 2 years.
Exactly, right? So it's about setting like a reasonable standard for yourself. Like if I just said like in 2 years I want to start competing. That's a fairly reasonable goal.
Realistic goal.
Realistic goal that, you know, you got a good work hard. If I do it in earlier, then I feel really good about it. If I do better than that, like again, I feel really good, but it's not setting myself up for failure.
Yeah. I've got a really interesting question. So we are actually seeing that more and more kids, teenagers, people our age are getting into the gym seriously. Like they are actually training seriously, taking their diet seriously and stuff. Why do you think there's this shift and change at the moment? Like over the past couple of years, getting into the gym wasn't a personality trait, but now it is a personality trait. And on top of it now, since the last year, what I'm seeing is that even people are wanting to compete. Competing wasn't a big thing, but now it looks like every 2 out of 3 people want to compete at some point. Maybe it's just for the experience, maybe it's for the clout. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, like, I haven't looked deeply into it and like I haven't studied it, but
which is fair enough. Yeah.
I think most of it comes down to like social media influence. Like you see. Like I can pick up my phone right now. I don't follow gym people. I follow like some fashion people, but I don't really follow the space too much. But I guarantee you, I could pick up my phone right now, and something in my feed would come up that's like talking about muscle growth or talking about looking good, getting lean, whatever. Even if it's just a picture of somebody that is doing it, not promoting it, but is like, look at me now. It's just around us 24/7.
Yeah.
You can't escape it. And I think a lot of it comes down from that almost like peer pressure type of thing. Like if everybody else is doing it, then I should be too.
And then you get FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah, you get a bit of FOMO, and it's like, well, you got to assess what's good for you, not what looks good for other people. Like.
But that's the point, isn't it? That the society kind of has set up these beauty standards.
Yeah.
And if not these beauty standards, then people get, people get rejected or maybe get talked shit about them just because of the way they look or certain things that they are doing or they're not doing.
Yeah.
For example, a fat person who's not going to the gym might hear something from maybe a stranger or maybe one of their friends in a joking way that, come on, you got to do something about your body, which might not look that it's as serious as when they were doing when they were having the conversation, but reflecting back when a person goes home, like, I really am fat, and I should probably do something about it. So maybe this is something that people actively need to consider, that okay, body positivity and all that stuff is also coming big now on social media. If we're talking about
true.
Making gains and getting leaner and stuff. But at the same time, if as a society we can be a little bit more considerate towards how we talk about bodies and how we talk to people about their physical appearance, that could possibly bring a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that going to the gym is inherently bad. I think there are inherently bad traits to everything that you could do in life. And if someone gives you criticism as an insult or as like a joke, if you have the mental capacity and the self-awareness to sit and look at that and go, okay, someone said like your legs are too thin or you've got too much belly fat or something, you go, okay, is that something that really impacts me? Do I care about that?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, or is it negatively impacting my health?
Yeah.
And if the answer is yes, do something about it.
Yeah.
If you really do care, that's your responsibility. That's where self-esteem comes from. Like, if you measure your self-esteem from just how you feel and not how other people look at you, you've got a swayed perception. Because I can sit here and think I'm top shit. I can sit here and think that I'm the best in the world.
Yeah.
But if I go and talk to everybody in the room,
you realize you're really not.
Yeah, and they disagree, my self-esteem is way inflated, right? So you have to get your self-esteem from a peer group, and you know, if it doesn't affect me, like I don't care how my legs look.
Yeah.
Then and does it affect?
As long as you can get from point A to B, you can
right.
get to work and you can hang around with your friends. You can be with your family. If they're functioning and having not a lot of muscle on your legs is one of the things that concerns you, then your legs are fine.
Yeah.
But one of the points that you did mention that was a brilliant point was that if it's not negatively affecting your health. Because I think there's a really thin line when we're talking about, do I really care about this? And is it negatively affecting my health? For example, you can be morbidly obese or you can be totally obese.
Yes.
And you can be like, I don't fucking care. I'm still going to eat Macca's. I'm going to eat Domino's. I'm going to eat KFC, chocolates, pop, sodas, whatever the fuck you want. And I don't care what people think. And having that mindset can actually push you in a hole, like a rabbit hole, from where getting back is going to be really hard. So, again, if you really want to do something about your health, you don't really have to even go to the gym.
No, it doesn't have to be the gym.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You did Taekwondo for like several years.
I did Taekwondo for 10 years.
So 10 years of Taekwondo, there's a lot of other activities that you can do
100%.
without actually going to the gym, and you can still be fit, not muscular. That's the distinction between fitness and not bodybuilding, but being muscular.
Correct.
And again, from the face value, someone might look fit, but running just 10 meters is going to gas them out.
Correct. Yeah. And it's what do you want? Like, that comes down to health. Like, what do you need in your life? Is it going to benefit you to be able to pick heavy shit up often? Or is it going to benefit you to look like you can pick shit up?
Yeah.
Or is it more helpful to be able to like have stamina?
Yeah.
For me, it's stamina. So my Taekwondo meant that I kept physically fit. I like my respiratory system, my metabolism, all of that.
Cardio health.
My cardiovascular health is very good. Whereas and doesn't mean that I can't lift or I can't. Like, I'm not strong.
You can still fairly lift heavy in comparison to like an average person.
To someone that doesn't, right? Yeah. But compared to someone that went to the gym and does weight training, they can obviously lift more. They can't. I would gas them out in a run or something like that. Maybe not now because I don't do it as regularly.
Yeah.
But I prioritize like cardiovascular exercise for myself because it's more rewarding for what I want to get out of fitness.
Exactly. You're doing hospitality and you're going to be on your feet for a really long extended period of time, so you need the stamina. However, if we're talking about like a maybe manual labor guy, he needs to lift heavy shit, so having more muscles or maybe the ability to lift heavier weights is going to be more beneficial for him. So it's really about different people, different you can say jobs, different experiences.
What's your lifestyle? What are your goals? And how do you be healthy around that?
Yeah.
And then there comes into like dieting as well. Like eating a healthy diet is would you say more important part of being fit and healthy?
If you're not having a good diet, I think you're doing stupid shit going to the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like driving a car with no engine oil is going to just blow the engine up at some point. So
that's the other thing. Like, you don't have to like do crazy exercise to be healthy. You can just eat well, eat.
Quite literally, eat well, go for a run every day, and you're fit.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm gonna like take the conversation to a different phase, kind of still related to all of this, but I actually in this conversation 2 times I noticed that you displayed signs of being self-aware. First one was when you said, I think I can be top shit, but when I talk to people, they can actually bring you back to ground. And that was a good example. And the other one was when you said, well, not maybe now because I haven't done Taekwondo and runs in a while. So you are really self-aware of where you stand. And I think one of the biggest things that people are doing at the moment are thinking that they are way ahead or way less than what they are. and that is adding on to their dissatisfaction or maybe depression or something.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on being self-aware?
Self-awareness is something that takes like a lot of practice, and I don't even think that you'll never get your like yourself correct like 100%. I think there's times and places where I need to walk in the room and walk in and be like, I am important, I am worth talking to, I am somebody that people need to listen to. And there's other times where you walk in the room and you're like, these people are who I need to be listening to. Like, you look at it and it just depends on who you are with, what you're doing, and what the situation requires. And again, that's still self-aware, because you have to be aware of your surroundings and know like who you are as a person. Yeah. Like if I'm at a networking event, I don't want to walk around and pretend that I'm better than everybody else, because that is not going to get me anywhere. Nobody wants a random guy to go up to them, introduce them, go, hey, I'm Steven, and then rattle off all of a bunch of achievements and award, whatever. People don't care. You want to engage in a conversation.
Yeah, because it's not all about you.
No, and that's how building like my career. Yeah. What I want to do is like, how can I meet more people, etc., etc., and then you take it into like a leadership position, right?
Yeah.
If you need to lead people, you need to be confident in what you're doing. A lot of leadership comes down from like, I am confident in my decision, and a lot of people rely on you to be confident in your decision. If you you don't want to be an indecisive leader, because indecision, it delays things.
If you cannot make a decision, how is your team supposed to do anything?
How are they meant to trust you? And if they can trust you to make a decision, you'll eventually, like, you make a mistake, you learn from it. Then your next decision, you've learned from that mistake, and you make a better decision. Eventually, you're going to start hitting your decisions properly, and you're going to start making the right choices.
Yeah, it's all about like time and practice.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can't drive, like you can learn to drive in a day, but over the time, you keep doing it. For example, our friend Joe fucking mounted the curb in his driving test. But he's not going to do that again. Maybe he does it once again.
You learn, right?
Yeah, and the next time you're going to remember that, okay, I don't have to make this mistake again.
Yeah, and I do think that self-awareness is like one of, if not the most valuable skills that like you can develop, and doesn't come easily. Like there'll be times where you get hit with a real hard truth bomb that you like didn't want to hear, like, or you don't want to admit to yourself, but someone says something and it clicks and you go, you know what? There's some truth to that. Even if the person means it with malice and it's ill intent, like you go, okay, do I care, and is it negatively affecting me?
Yeah.
If you answer like yes to both of those, then you got to do something about it. Doesn't matter who says it.
Yeah. And to anyone who's listening to this right now, this is like a great thing. If anyone in life, at work, at the gym, anywhere talks about something that you are not happy to hear, just don't react immediately. I would say take a bit of time to reflect back and maybe ask yourself a couple of questions. Like the first one should probably be, okay, is this really serious?
Yeah.
And think of it in terms of broad terms, not like, oh no, it's not serious. Because then again, you're just impulsive and saying, nah, I just don't want to listen to anyone. I just want to do whatever the fuck I want. And the second question is probably going to be, is this thing going to affect me in the future?
Yeah. Or
is it just this one thing that I'm doing at the moment? If it affects anything in the future, you got to fix it. Because, okay, if I'm, for example, just a basic gym example, if I am benching with my wrong form and you come up to me and it's like, maybe if you tweak that could be better.
Yeah.
And you go away and I was like, he is skinnier than me. He looks... He's lanky, and it's like, who the fuck is he to tell me I lift heavier than him probably, and I look better than him. Yeah. And I just shrug off and never care about my bench form again. But what is going to do in the future? It can injure me. It can lead to a possible, like a postural deformity, and on top of it, my technique's never going to be right.
Yeah, and you don't have to trust what like. That person comes up to you, say it's me, right? I don't think I have any validity in telling someone how to bench. But if I went up to someone and gave them a criticism,
Yeah.
and they can choose to either listen to me or not, but they should do some research on it.
Yeah.
Say you go home and you go, what is the correct form? You spend another hour of your time, half an hour, even if 15 minutes,
Just eating your meals and watching the videos.
Yeah, having dinner, you watch a quick bench press form video, and you go, he wasn't really right,
Yeah.
but now I know what I need to do to actually make my form better.
Yeah.
That person has helped your growth, regardless of if they were correct. You were aware enough to go, okay, maybe I'm not right.
And you can also take this in a different way. It's like, do I know that person? No.
Yeah.
Why would he take out the time from his day to come up to me? Maybe there is actually something wrong with my form, and he's still like, there's like still good people out there, and he's looking after me.
Exactly.
And if you think it in that way, maybe just in future, you'll be able to save yourself from disappointment and being angry on the spot, being impulsive.
And it's hard to not like have an initial emotional response to something like that, especially if you like, again, if you're not self-aware enough to know, if you think you're top shit and someone comes down and ego checks you and you're in the frame of like, I'm top shit.
You're not Andrew Tate, bro.
You're like, well, even then, like, there's a lot of criticism that you can give to that guy about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And then it's his decision to go, oh yeah, like, he's a tosser, I don't care. Or yeah, maybe he's got some validity. Yeah. But he's like he's got his own skill set that he's developed over time that he has some credibility to hold to as well.
And the things that really matter to him, he cares about money, cars, and everything. And is he getting them? Yes, he is. So on his account, some of the things we don't agree with, some of the things he say we agree with. So if he's happy in his life, you can't really do anything about it. You can't force him to change his opinion about anything.
No.
Even though you've banned him, but
it's not anyone's like social responsibility to tell somebody, like, you can have an opinion and like it can be wrong.
If it is an opinion, it can't be wrong. That's the point.
It depends. I think that hiding behind the fact that an opinion can't be wrong is just like a defense mechanism. Yeah. If your opinion is, if you came to me and you said, in my opinion, Stephen, 2 + 2 = 5, that would be wrong. Yeah. Because you've incorporated a fact into your opinion that can be fact checked and incorrect. But if you go, I don't really like the color blue, that's an actual opinion. Right? But if you said, I think blue is red, that is not an opinion. That's a fact hidden behind an opinion. Yeah. So
we could, but you could, there's a trick that you can actually even talk about facts, bring them as opinions. So I believe Canberra is the capital of Australia. It's a fact. It is.
Well, yes.
And I can say, I believe Melbourne is the capital of Australia. Now, I said I believe. I didn't say Melbourne is the capital of Australia. So it's really about the way you say something and the use of vocabulary.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if you were to say, I believe Melbourne is the capital of Australia, I would be like, you're wrong. Yeah. Like,
obviously, it's a fact. People know it.
Yeah.
But I still believe that Melbourne's the capital of Australia.
You can believe whatever you want. Doesn't make you right.
Yeah, so. Exactly.
But you gotta, again, be self-aware that your belief system is not the same as everybody else's, and that your belief system could be wrong. And at any point, you could learn something that like shocks your belief system, and you have to have the self-awareness and the self-confidence to be able to deal with that. It doesn't come easily.
It takes time.
It takes time.
Yeah. Everything. If you're growing in life, growth is going to take a bit of time.
Yes.
And we're closing down on 30-minute mark, so I'm going to have to keep looking at the camera if it cuts down. But we can keep talking about this like forever. Yeah. But before we head out and before the camera stops recording, even if it does, we'll keep recording after that cut. There's going to be some guy watching this video, maybe a teenager, maybe the same age as us, who is heavily invested into the gym just because of the societal pressure. And maybe they don't have the societal pressure. Yeah, so I was saying there's going to be some guy watching this video due to societal pressures going to the gym, maybe doing some other stuff, not necessarily gym. What is that one message that in an overall term, concluding everything, you want to give to the person who's watching this podcast?
Oh, I don't know. If you choose to listen to my advice, like, go for it. Like, again, I don't think that I'm a professional in the area, but being that I don't go to the gym as in any capacity anymore, it's just like, look at your life. Does gym fix a problem or benefit your life that you need it to? For me, it doesn't. I take up other recreational activities. You know, like you said, gym could be a social thing. Gym could be a fitness thing.
Yeah.
You figure out what it does for you. If you have something else, like if you decide to give up soccer to do the gym just because you think it's the right thing to do, don't. Unless it is the right thing to do. If you miss the social aspects of your soccer, if you get the fitness you want from your soccer, if you get whatever other benefits you get from soccer.
Most importantly, if you're happy
playing soccer, don't give up soccer. You know, that's the main thing. Make sure that you make the right decision that's going to lead to you having the best, healthiest lifestyle that you can dream of for yourself.
As cliche as it sounds, if it doesn't make you happy, it's probably not right.
Yeah, like to an extent, yeah. There are always going to be things in life that don't make you happy.
But you still have to do it sometimes.
There's struggles within happiness, and it's about like, what struggles do I enjoy having?
But that struggle is towards finding happiness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you got to find the things that are a struggle that you enjoy doing. So if you enjoy waking up at 5 a.m. to play soccer, but you enjoy that struggle,
that is why you're waking up.
That's why you're waking up. That's like a meaningful life. But if you're struggling to get out of bed in the morning to go to the gym, which you don't really enjoy, that struggle is not a struggle that you're happy doing. So,
great advice. Couldn't have said it any better. Dubai is going to be fun.
Dubai will be fun, hopefully.
Steven's a bit nervous.
Yeah, just a bit.
Which is true, but I get the same feeling. I've been through that for like over 3 years now, so I know you're going to be fine. I believe in you.
Yeah, it should be good.
Well, with that being said, if you've made it to the end of the podcast, wish Steven good luck. He's moving to Dubai for at least a year.
Yeah, I'm going to set myself a goal of at least a year
to
give myself time to acclimatise, get used to it, and then figure out, like, do I actually enjoy this? Do I actually hate this? And what am I going to do to fix it?
As we talked about in the podcast.
Yeah.
And wish Steven good luck, and we want to say thank you for sticking around and listening to the podcast till the end, because again, it really means a lot to me watching, and I've been slacking off with my content a little bit due to some personal stuff. But we're back, and if you liked it, if you think anyone who would benefit from any of the advice that me and Steven talked about today, even a little bit, and you send them this podcast, maybe it'll be great for them and for us.
Yeah.
And I'll see you in the next one. Steven is going to tell you to subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe to the channel for more content by this guy.
Trying to make it big. And when Steven comes back from Dubai, I want heaps of chocolates, bro, because I'm going to make sure that I'm not on prep.
You'll not be on prep.
And I can eat all that Arab chocolate.
Hell yeah.
Alright.
Thanks for having me.
It was fun. And I'll see you in the next one.